So yeah, as soon as he did the countdown, my thing
you're now
dropped
live,
out.
but I believe that the mics are not hot. Except for us. Then again, when you believe that that's the case, that's when you're going to get caught and you're going to say something and it's not going to go well.
You got to delete a whole episode.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the first time we've had to do something like that. So, Ed, you want to kick off this? And which screen did we want? The 3-person screen?
Yeah, we'll start there and then we'll go.
All right.
I'll let you kick it off like you usually do, but I believe the mics are hot.
Hey, everybody.
Because I pulled up the countdown and it was like I could hear you guys on my phone.
Oh, all right. Hey, everybody, welcome to Bagger SLAB episode 2 for April 18th, 2022. My name is Sean Hilton. I am the owner of Comics Cubed, a real-life brick-and-mortar store located in the beautiful heart of downtown Kokomo, one of the crown jewels of Geek Street. Today, I am joined by my good friends, long-term comic readers, Edward Gibson and Nicholas Gray. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey,
thanks for having me.
We got a whole raft of books to talk about today, and Ed is going to kick it off because he gets to talk about heist stuff, and he loves heist stuff.
So yeah, we gonna start with Breakout from Dark Horse Comics here. It's the first issue of a 4-issue mini, and I found myself really enjoying this. It's got some cheesy heist moments. We all kind of talked about this before. They spoof Ocean's 11, I mean, to a T. At one point, there is a scene of characters watching Ocean's 11 and talking about how they need to pull off a heist. But being that that's one of my favorite movies, I absolutely loved it. It's this idea that there are these
from a few panels that it's Ocean's 11.
Yeah, there's these whether they're aliens or future tech or something, have basically spent the last 2-3 years just kidnapping, children. And nobody can get back out, and these teens think they found a way to get themselves in to break their friends and family out. Had that pandemic vibe of they're like, we're back to the normal. We've got to get back to things. Things have been different for years. We've been trying. And I was like, okay. But overall, I thought it was a really fun and interesting read. What'd you guys think?
I liked it. I don't think it would be it's not my pick of the week. I'll read the 4-issue mini. I'll read the 4. It was good. I had a couple problems that Sean prefaced me with before I had read it that it bothered him, and it made it easier for me to read. But some of the panel layouts, that was probably one of my biggest issues. Is every time you turn the page, we are doing the panel layouts in a different order. It seems like
it almost made
we're gonna go
like a Z. We went left to right, then down, back to left, down, back to right on multiple pages.
I don't want to have a Rosetta Stone to read your damn comic. So you gotta escape a mystery room to figure out how to read the comic. Maybe you've done something wrong. And the truth is, if these had been really good storytellers, if they were a little more seasoned in their craft, and I didn't look up to see how long they've been doing it, but a Walt Simonson, guys that have been doing this a while, they could have pulled that off and allowed your eye to figure it out. But I've been reading comics for a very long time, and it took minutes for me to what the hell? This doesn't line up. This doesn't make a lot of sense until I finally, broke the code. And I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. And then luckily I could tell Nick so he didn't have to suffer through the same agony I did.
Yeah, it was like I said, I liked it. I think there was a few issues I had with it. But overall the storytelling was good. The story's interesting. Kind of mashing the heist with sci-fi and some of that stuff together. But they need to figure out, hopefully in the other issues, panel layouts and how to make that work better so it has an easier flow.
Yeah, it felt like they were trying to do we're going to do this and it's going to be cool. And I'm like, yes, if it had worked, it would have been awesome. That would have been really cool. But I didn't figure it out, so I don't think it worked.
There wasn't enough text cues or visual cues to truly make it go that way. It goes from this side down.
Right, even if the caption boxes or whatever had like
hooked
continued down instead of just being like a brand new panel. Like if you'd gotten a speech bubble that moved down into that panel, it would have been nice to help out. But my only concern is, it's a 4-issue mini, and obviously issue 1, we're just setting the groundwork. We're putting the team together. You got 3 issues left, and it seems like they got a lot of ground to cover. I hope they stick the landing, because like you, Nick, I'm in for 4.
Yeah. I would expected this to really be like a 6. Like I feel like this is going to be. I could be wrong. I feel like it's going to be a hard story to do justice and pull off. But again, depends on the writing and how they do it. Because it's not like an overly oversized issue.
No.
So yeah, it depends on how the writing and how they do it. So be interested to see how they pull it off in 4 issues and their take on the actual heist part. I'm excited to see the break-in essentially.
Yep.
Who's playing with their mic? Knock it off.
Threats.
One of you has to be scolded. Knock it off.
So for this week, this is, I went with Breakout, had a Kaiju Score, which was another great heist book.
Yeah.
Eternals, X-Men 92, which we'll talk about. Hit Me #2, which I'm sure I'll take a couple of hits for based on my thoughts there. And Captain America and Doctor Strange, kind of one shot. Most everything was a bag. If I'm going to go slab it, I'm probably going to lean towards Kaiju Score. That was just a fun way to revisit a mini from the last year or two that I really enjoyed. And I'll be honest, we'll talk about it later, but my one that I'm leaving on the shelf here is probably Hit Me #2. So I'll probably be out from that series at this point in time.
Oh, wow. I don't know what to say about
So
that.
everything else was a bag it.
Yeah,
Kaiju Score was definitely my top.
Oh, I'm gonna make John keep putting that in your folder.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be a required reading for the show. So Aftershock brings us Kaiju Score, Steel from the Gods. They did a 4-issue mini called just Kaiju Score, where it is another heist book, and the plan is, in this world, kaiju exist. There are kaiju evacuation plans. Everybody knows how to deal with it. And one guy plans this big, elaborate heist when kaiju are coming in, because they evacuate the entire town. And so this is picking up where that series left off. And the art is really, it's cartoony, but when it's detailed, like when he's drawing some of the pages of the ancient kaiju, there's some really great detail in there. So another mini series that I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
Yeah, I agree. I like this. This would be one of my picks of the week, 100%. This gave me what I wanted of the setup of a heist, and kind of it does play off of the first series quite a bit. Characters crossover, but the setup of it and how they're telling the story of why they're doing the heist that they're doing after this massive heist they had done in the previous book or previous series, and what they're planning on doing on this one, and the reasons driving behind everything. I thought that was one of the things I liked about the first series, was just the push and why the members of that team were a part of that team, how they were put together. This kind of does a little bit of that too, where it gives you the backstory of well, why are they willing to risk this? Why they seem to have a soft, easy takes that they're doing. Why would they throw that away? Another thing I really liked was at the back, it mentions that the writing in her diary, and you get those kind of pages at the back, of the diary pages, kind of filling in a little bit of the gap again from the previous book to the new book, and one of the characters that's brought in for this book. I enjoyed that a lot. That was a nice little addition kind of on that. Also, the stock quality of the book is really nice.
Yeah, the back material I don't always read in some books, and as soon as I saw we had I think 6 pages of her diary or whatever it was, I was like, I'm not passing this up.
Yeah.
So, Sean, what'd you think about Kaiju Score?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. You take in your gangsters, you take in heist material, you take in a crew, and then you throw in kaiju and that works for me. The artwork I felt is a very stylized. It almost had, I think it might have been influenced by like Aeon Flux from the old MTV series with the exaggerated lineage and some severe angles here and there. But the coloring, everything of this is put together really, really well. This is definitely one that I think you got to bag. It's got a track record with the first one and going to the second one. I just don't see how you go wrong with it. It's a pretty book. The cardstock cover that it's on, it's real easy to tell when you pick it up whether you're going to get if you're going to grade it, whether you're going to get a good grade on a book or not, because it's either almost flawless or you're going to see dings and issues with it right away. It's not going to take any time to see that there's something wrong with it. I loved the diary stuff. I was going to skip it, and then I'm like, no, if we're going to do the review, do it right. Don't do it half-assed. And I was quite happy with it. It was very cool, a lot of fun. I definitely want to know all about the lawn keeper now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little things there about her yard guy. So I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the gardener come up through the story. But just one last thing, talking about like how you're talking about these the stock and the card stock and the paper quality of the book. Just comparing it to Spider-Punk from last week.
Oh,
like that was on the a Marvel book.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
might have been on paper that was worse than toilet paper.
Yeah,
it was so bad.
Everything about that book was poor quality. The paper it was printed on, and then you have something coming from Aftershock. Not only is it like storytelling is way better in this with a good story, but like the quality of the book is a lot better.
Richard Candelaria wants to know if you need if you need to have read volume 1 to understand this first issue.
I think it helps.
No. Yeah, I was like, there's some callbacks, but you can pick this up. It has enough right there to just go.
I didn't read volume 1. I might have read the first issue. I definitely didn't read past the first issue, and I got it. They fill you in with the backstory that they tell you, and even through the backstory, as it's growing through the issue, you finally get some of the payoff of some of the stuff. So it's one of those deals where if you've read volume 1, this is going to have some of that logical extension. You're going to be like, ooh, I got that. I know what that's about. If you haven't, you're going to go into it fresh. It is still a very easy to read book. The mission that they're doing talks about the last thing, but the last thing is completely self-contained, and this is the aftermath going forward. So I would say, as someone who didn't finish that series, no, you don't need it.
It kind of gives you the feel like if it was a movie or even a TV series or something that they did off of this, and it started with this second kind of series heist, it is written in a way where it gives you that feeling that these characters have depth, something happened before, where you could watch or read this and enjoy it entirely. And then if they came out with or if you read it after that first series, it would feel like a natural like callback, or like how they do prequel movies that kind of explain things in the future. I think it would work if you read it in the reverse order, kind of just filling in a couple of the gaps of just a little bit more about a couple of the characters.
I think so.
Yep. Yeah. I think it sounds like a bag it all around.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I'm in for Captain America #0 as my book of the week. Traditional, old school comic book. Superhero, tights, classic character. The Steve meets Sam, both of them Captain America. Arnon Zoloff trying to take over the world. One and done issue. You don't have to, it's not a 12-part first series. In the first issue, you get classic old school comic book storytelling, superb art all the way through, fun characterization, a couple of great pinups. I mean, page 2 has got Cap and Falcon just coming in together in an almost Alex Ross style poster that is just superb on all levels. This is probably the closest to a flawless first issue that I have seen from Marvel in so long. Definitely bag it. Borders on a slab it. If you're a Captain America fan, it's definitely a slab it.
I think a slab would, for me, would be dependent on where this story is going with the Zero. Like where, if it's continuing on, kicking off the new Captain America run, depends on what's going to happen in that story. Whether I think it would be slab, because it'd be just the value of what it is.
It's interesting because it's continuing on, but like it's splitting into 2 books. We're about to get like, what is it? Sentinel of Liberty and
you get a Sam and a
yeah. One of them's like Captain America Sentinel of Liberty. The other one's like Captain America something, and it's one's going to be Sam, one's going to be Steve.
They're just going to be called Captain America. They're
right.
Hear the name.
Yes, but they'll have different titles, so we know which one we're buying and selling. But yeah, and some gorgeous covers too.
Oh, absolutely.
In June, we're getting Sentinel of Liberty, which will be the Steve Rogers book. In May, we're getting Symbol of Truth, which is the Sam Wilson, and it's got Red Wing on the cover. So we'll see how long.
So that was your one concern when I talked to you. You said, "Where was Red Wing?" You were like, "I got to make sure he's not dead."
I like this. I like the bird. I like dogs. It's like his pet.
Sean likes the pets. We're shocked.
So, and several different covers. Like if you're a cover aficionado and you want to track down all these covers, the main cover, there's a wraparound cover. That's the one I've got. Absolutely gorgeous. There's an Adam Hughes cover, Cully Hamner cover, Jim Trone cover, J. David Ramos cover. Just some absolutely beautiful covers to pick up on this whole thing. So I think it's a great book all around. Even if you're not a Cap fan, this is a good book to just start off with. If I had a new person come to the store and go, I want a superhero book, what do you got for me? I would happily put Captain America Zero in their hand. Absolutely.
I like the classic characters. The art, I'll agree. The art was gorgeous from cover to cover. That was really well done. The story, you don't need to know anything. You just need, everybody knows who Captain America is. That's about all you needed to know. You get into it, you hit the ground running, and it is action and things happening and a pretty classic storytelling style all the way through it. Couple of things you pointed out was some of the Falcon can rip the doors off of the rockets, and he can stand in this extreme G thing, but it's comic book, the rules and gravity bends to his whim.
Sam's been working out.
He has
been. He's earned that Captain America title there in more ways than one. But I echo you there.
Yeah, I like I said, some issues with kicking off of X-Men Red, where I had to stop and look stuff up and figure out what was going on. This is kicking off, and you just read it and go, and you get kind of the primer for the story of what's to come. I'm not as big into a lot of superhero books. I'm not that big of a Cap fan. I enjoyed it. Would it have been something I probably normally would have got? No, but it's worth the read. I think if you're not if you like superhero books, I could definitely see the appeal. If you like Captain America, it's great.
Yeah. The art you guys said was gorgeous. I think it's Matty De Ailes, or I'm not sure how you pronounce that last name, but he's done some interiors for Marvel over the last couple of years, and it's just phenomenal work. A fun done in one story that you don't see very often. I mean, they handle the Zola issue by the end of that issue, and I thought it was a lot of fun. The only thing that threw me at the end, knowing that this is splitting into 2 books, I loved the Sam and Steve dynamic, the way they worked together, the way they teamed up, the way they talked and joked about, you said we're sharing the title, that's what we're doing, or nice shield, that kind of thing. And knowing they're going to split into 2 different books, I would keep reading this if it was Captain America and they were both just headlining it together.
That's a buddy book.
That's a good point. Yeah. The buddy Captain America book, is this going to are the standalone titles not going to be as good on their own? I was like, because that was part of the fun, I think, of that book is the buddy Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got good chemistry between those two characters.
Well, I mean, they've been partners for 50 years at this point.
It's been a minute.
So, but yeah, I definitely was interested. I could maybe see myself picking up the first issue of either one of them, but if that dynamic doesn't really maintain, that's where I might be a little lost. So, what else about what you read, Sean? Is there anything you're
Matt Carver's
not
angry.
bagging there?
I had who's angry at us this time? It's Matt Carver. He's mad about something. You got to get that anger in check, buddy.
You want to finish up your list there, Sean?
Maybe not. Maybe we lost Sean.
Well, there's his pick of the week, Captain America.
And I'll be honest, I've not read anything by any of these three writers, so I'm not sure what else they've written, but they nailed a great Captain America book. So
I agree.
For me, my pull list this week, I had Hit Me number 2, which me and Sean both read and I think really liked. Midnight Rose. Midnight Rose it's a one-shot, oversized comic. I think I explained it to Sean and a couple people. It was like someone told Stephen King about the character Poison Ivy, but not how she came to be. And he wrote a little short story. Is anything groundbreaking in it? Is anything really super new in it? I wouldn't say that. It was a decent little read. It was a one shot. If you miss it, I would say that's one that like you're not going to lose out on if you hadn't read. But it's a fun little story. Doing it, I wouldn't say that. It was a decent.
I think Sean's playing his video of it there.
But yeah, it was a decent little story. Vanity Act 1 is actually one that's on my pull list. I have it sitting upstairs to read. I haven't got to read it yet. I did crack it open, and if you are used to reading Hickman books where you get these pages of text and like just stuff coming, like a lot of download, that very first page in that book was, I thought I was going to squeeze it in before I had to go to work one day, and I opened the page and I was like, not before work. It is a block of text, and it would put Hickman to shame on a page. Image 30th Anniversary Anthology, several short stories. I got to work my way all the way through that. And that's over. It's like extra thick, oversized, because you're getting several short stories in it. West of Sundown, I actually did like a lot. It's a vampire turning into a vampire western.
Yes.
First book, I kind of agree with Ed, his take on it, where it wasn't. I wasn't quite sure on it. It was an interesting kind of take on vampire, and the guy, not thrall, but
he's like her familiar. If I mean, in some things, yeah.
Like her familiar, taking care of her, and like she saves him from the Civil War, essentially, and then he is trying to return the favor because calamity happens, and they kind of wind up in the Old West. So I'm actually in to read the more of that series. I thought it was interesting. Captain America we just talked about. Breakout number 1 we talked about, and X-Men 92 we're going to talk about, I think, at the end. So I think that kind of brings it to like Hit Me again. I can't believe Ed doesn't like
what is wrong with you, Ed?
It's again like I was thinking in the first issue they're in Vegas, and I realized this is taking place in Atlantic City, it sounds like. But heist movie, stolen diamonds, mob, hitman coming after people. Like I don't know what's not to like, Ed.
It's just one where I expected, like, I think I told you guys, I thought it was going to be, we're knocking over a casino kind of thing. And it is a heist book, but it's like an accidental, we found ourselves in the middle of one and all we want to do is just get out kind of thing. Like we got to just get out of town and get ourselves in the clear. And I mean, it has been an enjoyable read. I would have put it a high C, low B, and it's just kind of one of those that if I had to cut something from my pull list, I would be like, oh, I missed issue 3 of Hit Me. That's okay. I'm not super invested. So,
see,
fool, I say, fool.
Yeah.
Now, I will say almost everything else I've read from Upshot has been amazing. This is like the first. It's not even a miss. It's just like, yeah, it's okay. From Upshot for me.
This is by the same author that wrote Bad Mother, Bad Mom. And that was a interesting, like, again, it was kind of a empowering woman, this teenage daughter. She gets taken, and the mother flips the switch and comes after this like organized crime group to get her daughter back. That is like another one of the titles that she wrote. She's written some other things. Krista Faust. I actually like this better than Bad Mother. I read that whole series. So far, this one has me hooked even more. I think we hit the ground running a little faster on this one than we did in the other one. The lady of the evening caught in the wrong place at the wrong or right time, depending on how you want to look at what's taking place in the book. But I like the crime mob trying to find the way out, the decision she has to make of who to trust, and is she going to save her friend, or is she not, or is she run with the money?
Yeah,
how that plays out, that's interesting to me. Sean, what's your take?
I had Captain America #1, and this was tied with it. I had to choose one. I knew you were going to pick it, so it made it easy. I'm like, all right, I'm going to let my buddy Nick roll that one. This is easily a bag it. I'm all for slabbing it. The whole series is going to be a plus. Plus, one of the great things is when they put this out as trades, it's going to be like a $9.99 trade because that's an Upshot thing they do. Like the first trade is going to be $9.99. I am not going to wait for the trade. I'm going to read every single issue as it comes out. And I disagree. This is not a heist book. There's no heist element at all in the book. It is a in the wrong place at the wrong time, bad luck book. There's no heist element. There's a person that ended up with something that they should have wound up with. It's a classic genre, but again, it's not. Just because they're in Atlantic City doesn't make it a heist. This is more of a escape with your life book.
She did take something that wasn't technically hers at the end of that first issue, though.
What's the definition of a heist?
Yeah, that's not a heist. Like, oh, look, I got this thing. I'm like, there wasn't any. She didn't plan it. She didn't have a crew. It was an accident. Fair. That ain't a heist.
You could. How many make a crew? Because there were 2 of them.
No, there was really only the one. She's the only one involved. The other guy was just a driver, I think.
No, he's
a bodyguard.
Guy.
Huh?
That's her like bodyguard.
How he gets shot.
That's in the second. Yeah, okay.
Nope. Yep.
Yeah, he gets shot at the end of the first one.
I mean, he's not there for that. No. It was different if you were like, hey, we're going to go in. I'm going to seduce him. You're going to hit him over the head, grab the goods, and get out. That wasn't what happened here. So.
It is no Ocean's 11. You're absolutely right.
You're right. Because it's good.
You're right, because I enjoy Ocean's 11.
So,
if you want Ocean's 11, go get Breakout.
I'll say that. Breakout's closer to Ocean's 11, but I still really enjoy it.
We were almost ready to kick Ed out of the group over this book. So we're like, what are you talking about? It's great. The art's also great.
Yeah.
Everything about it. I mean, again, you just have to get past the fact that the adult material, which isn't like, it's not sexualized. The story is about a sexualized situation, but it's not like we're seeing any of that. That's not
the art's like, it's very clean, very simple, like really good line work in the art. And again, everything from Upshot really has been. I don't know that of the handful of books I've picked up, there's not been one that looks like, wow, they just rushed this art, or this doesn't look any, professional. Everything coming from that company has been amazing.
I would happily get a sketch from this team.
Yeah, I really like their take on like just doing like 5 to 6 issues and like having a solid story, and then from time to time they will do like another
like a sequel
issue, 5 issues or something like that. But yeah, I enjoyed this book quite a bit. I 5 issues. It's one that I will probably even get all 5 issues and still buy the trade.
Sure.
So I have the trade easier to read when I want to reread this one.
Yeah. I'll take this to a show to get signed.
Oh yeah.
So absolutely. Their best X-Men book out there right now. Right there. We got a picture of it. X-Men 92. We're going to take the classic X-Men from 1992 cartoon, and we are going to transport it to the year 2022 as if it were involved in the things that are ongoing in the current series, while not actually being in continuity.
Well, I think it's more like if in 1992 they did the current thing, like it's not supposed to, not to say it's not in 2022, but it's like, hey, if the Krakoa storyline was something that the creators of that animated series came up with and decided, like, mutants can be immortal, they've got a happy little island, that's where you're looking at. Because if you notice, every single character you see in that book is one that existed in the early 90s. Like there's no Hope Summers.
It's the 92 team. It's X-Men 92. Yeah. The X-Men 92 team from the TV show and like some of that comic era. I mean, they got lots of pockets so they can put all their stuff in. So they got the classic uniform. I was like, the art I think is good in this book. But you have to go in thinking that it is that style. It is designed to be. It's not the X-Men being drawn like how they're being drawn now. This is the 90s style.
It's being animated.
Yeah. So if you like that art is good.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like some of the books that would have been made like at that time period that tied directly into the show.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's
got like my personal pan, and I was a kid in the 90s.
Yes.
I would have gotten this comic when off the buffet from the buffet.
Absolutely. And it the writing, even like just some of the things that they say, like that is how Wolverine talked on that cartoon. Like, I'm gonna gut him, I'm gonna do that. Like it was just base. And at one point when he cuts through the wall and it makes a perfect X, like I was going, that's the cartoon. That's exactly what they would have done.
So now on their really happy little island, is there like a Bob Ross painting of Krakoa out there of the happy little island of the mutants? Oh, look, it's a happy little accident.
If there's not, there will be soon. Like,
and does the kid that goes over to the island of the monsters, does he like end up there with his little monster suit? Is that really just he washed up on Krakoa? Is that what happened to him too? And what about the kid with like the little pink crayon that all the stuff he draws comes to life? Is he a mutant? I have a lot of questions for you, Ed. You're our X-Men mutant expert. So yeah, Harold and his purple crayon. I didn't know it's Harold a mutant. I didn't remember the kid from the monster book that's classic, but where monsters roam, dwell. What's that called? Is he like?
Are you talking about where the wild things are?
Yeah, is that little kid like a mutant monster tamer? Is he got like he showed up on Krakoa's? That's it. Like maybe it's like Fables. Like Krakoa Central is for all your normal looking mutants, but then there's like a little offset island somewhere over there for all the really screwed up looking mutants. Like you don't really belong with society because you look like a purple cow.
I think that's Mars. Now for X-Men.
Yeah, maybe that's where they all end up on Mars. All the not so pretty ones end up on Rocco.
Haroka.
But we got this question here: if it's a prequel to the new cartoon? No, it's not like a direct prequel. But it's definitely they're tapping into that vein, knowing like you've got the revisit of the cartoon. What, a year and a half away? You've also got DC doing. They did Batman 89, Superman 77, or was it 78?
Batman was like 66.
Well, but they also had the Batman 89 comic that they just did, right? That took place
Batman
in the movie.
Tim Burton.
And then they had like the Superman, So I think it's just they've seen DC like tapping into all of their media markets and things like that.
I don't even know what 78 is for. What's that even mean?
The Superman 78 that they did, I think. But so it's not a direct prequel. I think it's more just like, hey, we have this property. It's always kind of popular. It's back in the mindset since we've got a Disney Plus show coming out that's picking up where it left off. let's do a little comic in that same vein. And we were talking about this not too long ago. This is another Marvel What If, basically. This is a Marvel What If miniseries. What if the X-Men of that animated series formed Krakoa and solved how, like, mutants dying?
Yeah. My two things that really kind of add on to that was one thing I really liked was the very 90s.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like
yes.
Like that right there definitely gave me the I got this at Pizza Hut, because like you got the video VHS.
It looked like
it
looked like Saved by the Bell threw up on that page.
Exactly.
Like, I actually thought it was an ad, and I got halfway through turning it before I realized it said like Jubilee or Gambit on one side, and I was like, "What in the world is this?"
Gene's jokes. I mean, you can't.
Oh yeah,
you can't go wrong with that. That's really solid.
Which X-Men is the most popular at welcoming New Mutants to Krakoa?
See, I thought it was going to be a different one. When it was
because it's always ice to see him.
See, I thought it was going to be because he knows how to break the ice. Like, I thought that's where they were going to go with that.
Good.
They should have got with you.
You're writing some cheesy dad jokes. You can get in on this. All right, that is our list of stuff that we're going to talk about this week. So, to summarize, out of all the stuff we talked to, what are you throwing in the trash, and what are you keeping? Ed?
So from those 5, I'm going to keep everything, but for me, Hit Me goes back on the shelf. That's just the one. I'm not throwing it in the trash. I'm just going to put it back on the shelf, let somebody else read it and appreciate it. And I'm gonna slab Kaiju Score.
Okay.
I would slab Kaiju Score as well. I would agree with you on that. I would again also love the Hit Me book. I would slab that. For me, putting back, like I'd put back on the shelf, the Cat book. It's just not really my thing. I enjoy it. I think also on my list there, that Doctor Strange book, that was another one that was really just like a capsulated, like almost like late 70s, early 80s written story. That was easy. If you love Doctor Strange, you like classic storytelling, but it's just that one would be for me to put back. But out of the ones we read, the Captain America for me is I put that back. I would never trash it. It was good. It just wasn't me.
The book we didn't talk about, I would trash Town Called Terror.
I'll agree with you.
Cold. I would put Breakout back on the shelf and not ever pick it up again. I would probably put X-Men 92 in a bag. I would put Kaiju Score in a bag. And then I would slab Captain America #0 and Hit Me #2 while searching for a Hit Me #1 to make sure I had a chance to have that in the collection as well.
If you need a Hit Me #1, I've got one.
Do you really? Yeah,
yes,
bring it
I
to
do.
Me. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, maybe I'll literally send it off to get slabbed. So might have to, I'm probably gonna do that with Little Monsters.
Watch this
He's
now.
gonna do that he's gonna do it just to spite me for this show.
Ed's gonna kick himself when that book's worth money.
Well, I can definitely see that being a TV series. Could you? I mean, easily see like SSX or something. Fox or whoever, the Sands of Anarchy kind of stuff going on. All right, gentlemen, our question of the day: are we ready?
No.
If you've got a chance to do a little Airbnb vacation at any of the fictional cities in all of comicdom. Where is it that you're going to try to get a 5-star review out of? Where are we heading on vacation in the fictional comic book world?
Nick, I'm going to let you go first.
Wow. All right.
You can play along at home, everybody. The one person watching, you can comment. Where would you go?
I feel like you have to go to I don't know, Asgard. Maybe you go to Mars, the Krakoa Mars. You're on a different planet at least. And he loves disco, Sunspot. So
the problem with bringing disco back, it also means you're going to have to bring Coke back and a lot of other stuff.
It'll never go away.
Well, maybe not.
I'm sure that one of those Krakoan flowers has a similar effect.
Nice.
Yeah. I guess I'd go with something like that. I'd want to see something crazy and futuristic. So like Asgard, I guess. if that counts.
I'm a little surprised you didn't want to go to Latveria and see your man Doom. I thought you'd be like.
I mean, I would. I mean, you got to be invited.
That's a good. You may not.
I'd rather go to Dracula's castle and then watch Doom and Moon Knight insult him.
There you go. I mean, right now, part of me wants to go to Krakoa, hang out at the Green Lagoon and just drink all day with mutants and see what happens. But there's part of me too that I'm thinking Atlantis, like the good one from Marvel, not the crappy Aquaman one. Oh. So go hang out with, the real king of Atlantis, Namor. Where's the Inhumans home at this point in time? Are we on the moon? Are we over the Himalayas? I don't know where they're at anymore. So, boy, I like your Asgard theory though. That might actually be the best way to do it. So that might be the best way is go to Asgard.
I agree. Asgard hotels will be fire.
Asgard's that's gonna be nice. I mean, for me, I got to go to the Fortress of Solitude to get away from all you people. So let me check out. Let me look out the window, see who's bothering me today. Oh, look, nobody. Let me check my phone to see who's bothering me today. Look, no signal. I'm in heaven.
Well, and it's cold there. And have you ever been to Alaska, Sean?
Now, as much as I like to be cold, I do not like to wake up in late to mid-April and find an inch of snow on the ground. So that I'm not cool with. But I would also say I was thinking Atlantis too. I think Atlantis would be pretty cool. So, all right, everybody, that is our show for the week. We greatly appreciate you checking us out. If you get a chance, stop by Comics Cubed. Again, real brick and mortar store located in the beautiful heart of downtown Kokomo, Indiana. It is well worth a day trip to come and visit Geek Street, which consists of Comics Cubed, Kokomo Toys and Collectibles, American Dream and Hi-Fi, Chapter 2 used books, and, except on Wednesdays, the Kingdom Cards and Games. All of that is located within just a few feet of where we're taping this right now. So be groovy, everybody.